I'm Tia.
And I'm Ebony.
And this is Reacting to the Internet. Alright guys, we know why we're here. You know why you're here. You saw the title, you clicked on the thumbnail. Let's go ahead and get into this video. Happy Friday the 13th. And for this special, we're getting ready to react to Jada, the Wicked Witch.
No, she is not the Wicked Witch.
Alright, no. She really not the Wicked Witch, but I hope that you guys are enjoying your Friday the 13th and that you're getting your spooky season on. You're watching all of the Jason Voorhees, something. Y'all know Jason. Watching all of his movies. If you're a Michael Myers fan, say that shit for Halloween. Let's go ahead and get into this. The video is titled Jada and Will Smith Marriage is a Sham. Jada still loves Tupac and Chris Rock tried to date her. This is by The Impressive Channel. I like the channel. Yep. Let's get into it.
Hello everybody, welcome to The Impressive Channel. Jada Pinkett Smith recently dropped a bombshell that she and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years. She actually sat down on the Today Show and revealed this information, and when I heard this I was like, man, Jada and Will's marriage is truly a shame. Listen to this mess.
Why it's gotta be a sham?
I don't think it's a sham. Alright, I don't think it's a sham. I think that everybody's marriage is accustomed to the 2 people, 3 people, however people is in your marriage, right? And marriage is hard. It's work. People are growing. You're healing. You're doing a lot of stuff. And forever is a long time. When you take those vows, like, to me, it just seemed like they meant what they said. Yeah. So it's like, we said our vows, to death do us part. Damn it, this is what to death do us part looks like.
Made a commitment to somebody. They just trying to keep their word to one another. And
yeah. And support
before God and whatever. Yeah. To me, that's what it seems like. They talking about it's a sham. This motherfucker probably ain't even married. I think people it's hard work. It is. I think people really do just idolize the Instagram version of marriage and relationships. Yeah. And not the behind the scenes stuff. But anyways, let's get back into it.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives. Yes. It was not a divorce on paper, but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now, y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the 2 of us how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
Why did the relationship fracture?
Oh, why it fractured, that's a lot of things. Yeah. And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be. I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever.
Let's pause.
And I just have
stuck in the fantasy of what they thought each other should be. That's a real thing.
That is so real.
That is a real thing. People really do get in relationships with people based off false narratives
that they create,
that they have created. And when you're with this person, it's nothing like that, right? But I feel like she said, I feel like that's kind of what they did with each other. But again, they still made a commitment to each other, right? To be in a marriage. That they have this family. They built this thing. And so, I mean, again, what's 7 years compared to forever? Right.
Yeah. I think it's admirable. I mean, I think that they are trying to
fight for their marriage.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to honor their commitment to one another. Yeah. And it may not look like a traditional, what most people would deem that, but what she said was absolutely real. Yeah. Like, if you're married or even in a relationship, this applies even when you're in a relationship. Like, sometimes we do create these fictitious ideals of what your person is supposed to be, and when they're not that, it causes conflict. You know what I mean? So,
like you're shattering an image of what you thought it was, and then sometimes people do need time to build that back up. Right? You need time. You need to put that work in, and it's a lot of work. It really is a lot of work. So, like you said, I think it's amazing that they are working on that together, and they recognize with what each other needs. And at the base of all this foolishness, I think they have a solid ass friendship.
I think so too.
Like, I think they have one dope ass friendship. But let's get back into it.
They've been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Now, it shouldn't be a surprise that Will and Jada have had issues in their marriage. I mean, we've seen it all play out in the public eye. But I am confused at the fact that they're separated and have been living separate lives, but for some reason they don't want to get a divorce. And I'm not advocating for them to get a divorce, but I just feel like if they're not happy and if they can't work their issues out and if they've been living apart for so long, is it really worth it to stay together at this point? I mean, there's been so much trust.
That's what I'm saying. People equate those, whenever you're thinking about marriage and what makes a person, like what makes a union strong, happiness is so, to me, so low on the totem pole because it fluctuates very often. So saying that a person is, if you're not happy, then you should get a divorce, like, everybody will be divorced because there's going to come some point in time in your marriage or in your relationship that you're not going to be happy. People just be giving up too quickly. And like they just exhaust just as quickly as you were happy before and now you're not happy, you can just as well get back happy again. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's such a fluctuating feeling. So, that's my thoughts on it.
Had to wait till the refrigerator finished. Yes, happiness is a fleeting emotion. Being in love is also a fleeting emotion. At the end of the day, it's about the commitment that you make. It's about how committed you are. And if you want to be with this person, if you are still putting in the work. Like, a lot of people like to use the word love, but love is the outcome, not the input.
That's true. It's a good one.
Yep. Got words. Let's get back into it.
Issues and infidelity in their marriage, and their image has been shattered in the public eye. So I'm just wondering, if they're not staying together for the love, if they're not staying together for the image, why are they together? That's the big question. And I thought about it, and I will say this. They could be staying together to protect their assets. I mean, they built a brand together, and if they get a divorce, it will affect them financially. I think that's one of the reasons why Jada is hesitant to leave, in a sense, because she has benefited from being connected to Will, and I don't think she knows that things will be financially easier for her without him. If she were to file for divorce, she can't rely on child support because the children are grown. And also, it has been put out there that she cheated on Will with August Alsina. So I don't think she would get the upper hand in the situation if she were to file for divorce. I think that's a part of her hesitancy as well. I think she's just scared to walk away from everything that she's known for the last 20 plus years. And also, Will's not the type to want to get a...
I mean, let's not act like people don't stay together for the assets, right? Like, sometimes, like they say, it's cheaper to keep. Whatever, however that go, I don't know. I'm not a multi-millionaire. If we got a divorce today, you would probably get nothing but a dog.
Dang, I don't want it.
But yeah, so that very well could be a valid reason, but I don't think that's the reason why they're staying together. I think at the root of it all is what Jada says it is, right? For a woman who talks so much about her life, she's very open and she's very honest, right? The honesty may not look like we want it to look, and it may not come the way that we want it to come, but it is her truth, and it's coming straight from her mouth. She's saying she's not ready to break her vows in that sense. Now, the whole August Alsina thing, from my understanding, she had an entanglement with this guy. Will Smith knew about it, especially if they were separated for 7 years, right? Because that had to have happened within that 7-year period, right? And sometimes it looks like, hey, if you need to date other people, explore other things, then whatever. Will Smith dirt probably just hasn't come out yet.
Which is,
So yeah, it's a lot that goes into that. So they were separated for those 7 years, and they had an understanding that they were living completely separate lives. Like, yeah, she's still married to this man, but they have an understanding. Is it still cheating if they have an understanding, right?
If they had an understanding, I say no.
Nah, they didn't.
And I feel like that's a whole
issue.
That's a whole conversation in itself, because now knowing this information, like y'all really think though, really sit there and think. If y'all was separated for 7 years, and in between that time, she decided to date August Alsina, why you come on this lady show crying like you just so hurt and tore up like this your first time hearing about it? Come on now.
He was
no.
embarrassed.
He can't. But see, that's what made everybody like, Jada so wicked. Jada this man knew. This man knew about it. Then you want to act hurt.
That's
like,
different.
what?
That's different. That's very different. Like, you can still know about a thing, but then when the whole world gets a hold of it and the whole world is there and they have their opinions of you, it still doesn't mean it shouldn't hurt. It still doesn't mean that he should play like, oh, I know about it, so it doesn't hurt. Like,
no, I'm saying he act like he didn't know that they was messing around or at all. He talking about you had an entanglement with him, like you acting like
no,
you ain't know.
No, he wasn't. He was saying an entanglement, like you didn't have an entanglement, you had a relationship.
I ain't buying it. His stuff just ain't came out yet, so he just covered his up better than Jada. That's how I feel about it. And if all that good boy stuff, like I ain't believing none of that. That's just me.
Nah, I don't believe Will Smith is innocent.
That's how they act. That's how people acting like Jada the bad one though.
Yeah, they do act like she's the wicked witch, right? They do act like that or whatever. And I think people see her that way because, again, she's putting all of her stuff out there, right? She's putting all of the shadow work that she's doing, all her demons, like she's letting her skeletons out of the closet. And she's just letting it all be out there to be open to whoever else is on that healing journey. And unfortunately, that does sometimes paint someone in a negative light. I don't think Jada's evil. I don't think she's a serpent. I don't think she's any of these things. I don't think she's doing anything to Will Smith. I think she's on her own journey. And again, she is being very honest and very transparent about what is transpiring in her life. A lot of people cannot move like that and they cannot live like that.
True.
So I applaud her for it. She's a public figure and she's built a brand around transparency and healing and growing, and that's just what she's showing us, and that's what she's giving. She's giving the good side, she's giving the bad, the good, the ugly, and I applaud her for it because it takes bravery to be able to do that. Let's get back into it.
Divorce either. He didn't even want to get a divorce from his first wife. And it's interesting because Will actually fell in love with Jada while he was married to his first wife, Cherie. But he didn't want to leave Cherie because he wanted to avoid getting a divorce. He viewed divorce as a failure. But Cherie was the one who filed for divorce from him. She actually left him. If she didn't leave, they would have still been together.
And I remember I had to get up from dinner when I had a realization that I wasn't the person I was supposed to be with.
But you would have stayed with her forever.
Forever. I would have never gotten divorced.
Yeah.
I was never getting divorced.
Right.
That's it. And y'all see nothing weird with that?
That's false.
And then she divorced.
Y'all think nothing wrong with that? That ain't. That's who he is as a person. Y'all don't think that that's strange a little bit?
I think it's strange. So I see it from both sides, right? I see both sides, like Chanel, Frank Ocean. I see both sides of it, right? Because some people do view, especially if you grew up like he did, whatever situation would be, trauma, right? Childhood trauma, that you're looking at this as a failure. Like, my marriage has failed. I haven't done everything that I possibly could do for my marriage to work. I'm not about to abandon my commitments. I'm not about to abandon my vows. So I understand that, but also staying in a toxic relationship, a toxic marriage, a toxic anything is also not healthy. So I kind of see both sides of it, but I'm not here to tell anybody that they should get a divorce.
I ain't either. I wouldn't.
Nah, that's not my place. That's not my thing, because nobody's gonna tell me.
Around like that.
Yeah, nobody's gonna tell me when I'm ready to get a divorce or when I should get a divorce, because you're not in my marriage. So But yeah, I get what you're trying to say. That's kind of weird.
Because it's like it's more so for him. For me, I feel like that's ego. That's ego led. Like that's not like this caring person that everybody's like, oh, he's so committed to his, marriage that he doesn't want to abandon his commitments. I'm not seeing it that way. I'm seeing that because of his ego, he doesn't like the idea of failure. Therefore, he holds on to these things, not for the sake of the commitment, but for the sake of his own personal feelings towards failure. That's how I see it. But and that's selfish to me.
Yeah.
Because you holding on to this person that probably want to be let go. You see what I'm saying? Like they probably want to be let go. That let them go. That's me.
I can see it that way as well. Guys, let us know what you think in the comments below. Let's get back into it.
Sheree filed for divorce. She hit me hard. Sheree filed for divorce on Valentine's Day. I was like, ouch, ouch. And I still told her, I said, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't have a divorce. And she hit me with the,
Look at her mom!
so you're gonna make...
Y'all saw her mom? Y'all saw the way her eyes looked at Jada, or whoever she was looking at, I think it's Willow maybe. The way she looked at Willow like, girl, you okay?
That's what I'm saying. You gotta really listen.
Yeah.
Really listen to what people be saying.
I can hear the ego.
Yes.
I can
No,
hear
you can't. What? No, I can't.
Yeah, I can hear that. Okay. Okay. Let's get back into it.
Somebody stay with you who doesn't love you. And I was like, what?
After Sheree filed for divorce from Will, Will immediately started dating Jada. Jada was gonna move away from Hollywood and she was gonna live her quiet life on the farm, but Will was like, nope, you're gonna be my girl. So she picked up and moved.
Which leads me to believe that she not staying for financial reasons.
No,
I don't think that. To me, that this she don't even seem like the type to me to be like so caught up on. Like I mean, I'm sure she lives a great lifestyle, but I don't feel like she's the type of person
she's not
that
a
would
materialistic person,
right? That wouldn't be okay with like, you know what? I feel like my peace of mind is a little better. So
yeah,
but
so like whatever.
I just want to bring that up.
It's not like she gonna leave the divorce for nothing.
Nah, that's impossible. They
It's
got
impossible.
like a 20+ year marriage.
So it's impossible.
No.
So yeah, I don't believe that she's staying for a financial gain. Like I said, I truly believe she's staying because, like she said, she's not ready to break her vows. She's not ready to break that commitment to Will, and Will is not ready to break that commitment to her.
Period.
Let's get back into it.
To LA with him. And I think Jada kind of liked the fairy tale romance at first, but she realized that if she was going to be with somebody like Will, her life and career wasn't going to be the same. She wasn't going to be able to do anything she wanted to do because it would reflect on Will. Also, Will's career eclipsed hers. So I do think in some ways Jada resented that. I think she just didn't like the idea of everything revolving around Will and his brand. She wanted some attention. She wanted to have her own voice. She wanted to do her own thing. But she couldn't at one point because Will called the shots. He was the big superstar making all the money. And also he was pretty much consumed in trying to make sure everything was perfect. And it was really more so for his ego more than anything. He knew that if he presented his family in a perfect light, it would be...
So...
And they completely flipped the script on that image.
Completely. Like, I don't know. I don't think it went down quite like that. Like, nothing about Jada says I'm about to do something I don't want to do.
No.
Nothing about
I don't
her
get
says
that either.
Nothing. Like, no. I think she went along with it, and she's in Hollywood. She knows the business. She knows that what comes with a megastar like Will Smith, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure she went into it understanding a lot of this. Now, could it have changed over the years? Absolutely. But like I said, I don't really think that that's quite the story. Like that's quite how it went down. Like I do think Will Smith has a problem with image and being perfect and all these things, but I do think he is working on that part of himself. Right?
I can, yeah.
I think he's really working on that, and that could have been the reason for this 7-year gap, because certain habits and certain things that are embedded in you they're not easily broken.
Perfectionism is a hard thing to trump.
Hard thing to break.
Because you have to not care about a lot of things that really build you as a person, essentially. Like, you know, you're always people pleasing. That's very, very hard.
Very hard to do.
Especially in Hollywood, I'm sure.
Exactly. And you have to also take into account his image, his brand. He was the Fresh Prince. He was a good boy. He was this clean record, this clean record, right? And then he fell in love with Jada, who
is from Baltimore.
That wasn't a thing for her, like, right? Like, she wasn't like a bad girl, but she wasn't squeaky clean, right? She never presented herself as such. And so in that 7-year gap, that could have been what they were focusing on, like him working on that part of himself and her working on whatever part of herself that she needed to work on. Because every time I saw Will Smith, he was living his best life.
Yeah, they did, like, they got like two different types of
brands,
energies. I feel like, you know, and sometimes that does work. Like opposites, like
attract,
like opposites, like kind of attract, you know. But I really do feel like Jada's kind of like one of. They even talked about it, like how Will likes to go and travel and see, and Jada's not like that.
She's like, let's chill out. Let's do this. So you know, and that was his lifestyle.
Yeah,
that was what he had to do. He's going, flying around, doing everything from movies and being off from home for months, years at a time, filming, doing stuff. Like, I understand, I get that. Let's get back into it.
Really good for his brand, and he wanted to create a perfect life for his family. And his intentions weren't bad at all. He wanted to give his family what he never had growing up. But at the same time, he was doing a lot of this from a more self-centered angle, and he wasn't considering the feelings of those involved, especially Jada. He didn't really consider how she felt a lot of times. And for a long time, Jada was depressed.
As a couple, we are magical. We win in the material world. Externally, our family was winning, right? And there was a period where mommy woke up and cried 45 days straight. I started keeping a diary.
Damn, you missed some days.
It was every morning. I think that's the worst I've ever felt in our marriage.
Wow. I
was failing miserably. But on the outside, I was winning. Like, during that time, I remember saying, like, I built this house for you. I called it her lake. And she said, you built this house for you.
It seems to me like Jada was unhappy in the marriage for a very long time before she and Will decided to separate. I don't think she was completely satisfied with where she was in her career. I don't think she was satisfied within herself. I don't think she was satisfied with some of Will's behavior either. I mean, even though we don't know Will's dirt like that, both Jada and Will are in Hollywood. They've seen some things and done some things, okay? I think they both did some things to each other. But I think Jada just wasn't satisfied with Will. And honestly, I don't think she was 100% in love with him either. I think her true love has always been Tupac. I mean, anytime she talks about Tupac, she just wells up with emotion.
You know, talk about my relationship with Pac and trying to figure that out, you know. And
yeah, I understand that. I get it. Like, Will was a very materialistic person, right? Like, oh man, we got this, and this. People like this is our image. We're good. But again, you built a nice frame. But what about the people in the picture? And that's what Jada was focused on. She was focused on the people in the picture, and it just wasn't working for her. Like, she didn't care about an image. Obviously, that wasn't her thing. So, I mean, I get it. And to try to change and go through healing and listen to your partner and be in the marriage and deal with whatever, like, the woes of being a woman, period, right?
Yeah.
Of trying to
changing
and trying to be in a marriage and be a mother and, you know, maybe deal with the fact that, oh, my career isn't the way that I wanted it to go. That's a lot. That is a lot. And it just hit her. And hey, heal however you see fit. And I have to give it to Will. He didn't walk out on her. I mean, they may have been separated, but he didn't hit her with divorce papers. Like, you waking up crying every day. I'm done this, and this for you. And now, blah, blah, you just gonna be ungrateful? I mean, he could have said those things, but at the end of the day, he didn't divorce her. And as far as, this is my opinion about the whole Tupac stuff, right?
You think she really loved Will Smith?
I think she had to grow to love Will Smith.
That's what happened when you fake stuff, though.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out.
And then, okay, so this whole this whole Tupac Shakur, I'll give you my thoughts after. Let's get into it.
That was a huge loss in my life.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because he was one of those people that I expected to be here. My upset is more anger.
Why Willow look devastated?
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel that he left me. And I know that's not true. And it's a very selfish way to think about it, but I really did believe that he was going to be here for the long run.
Yeah. Right.
The type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime, so he was like a brother, father figure to me. Very protective, and we took really good care of each other. We took really good care of each other, the best that we could.
My relationship was really special. And it was very complicated. And really through my relationship with Pac would have shown people what he truly was.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Oh, yeah.
I know you
Oh
say
my
no.
God, that dude. And that was in the early days.
Yeah.
But she just loved him like he was the image of perfection. But she was with the Fresh Prince. But yeah, no, I was deeply, deeply insecure, and just I wasn't man enough to handle that relationship.
So you heard Will say he was jealous of Tupac, and I can understand it because Jada doesn't hide her love for Pac.
I think we're in an Airheads commercial. Want to skip it?
She truly loves him, and I honestly believe she had an affair with the R&B singer August Alsina because he reminded her of Pac in some ways. She even said August helped give her closure when it came to Tupac.
You have been able to close some open wounds that were left in regards to my relationship to Pac.
That's a wild thing to say, but it comes to show you how tightly Jada has held on to Pac because that was her ideal man. And I feel like Will was there to just feel.
Now, I don't know if I would be over TV saying that. But you know, if it's true for her, then it's true for her.
What? Did she close him?
Yeah, I don't know about that part. But to each his own, right? This is how I feel about the Will and Jada. Not Will and Jada, the Will and Tupac. The Will and Tupac. The Jada and Tupac situation. I think she loved him, and I think they had a very deep connection, right? And just because two people are soulmates doesn't necessarily mean that in a romantic way. Everyone thinks about every type of relationship in a romantic sense. And you do form deep connections with people who you are not in a relationship with. And those people do become your soulmates. Like you take people who've been friends for 20, 30 years. Like they're soulmates in some way, right? Like they have this connection. People have, I don't know. I just feel like Tupac and Jada had a very special bond, a deep connection, and it hurts. And it's not up to anybody to when she should stop crying over him or stop talking about him or stop doing any of these things. That's just corny.
I think it was both. I think they did have some type of romantic relationship, but then I think that they both understood that what they provided for each other was kind of beyond like a romantic type of thing. And you can have a soulmate that is your friend. And so that, you know, and people, I don't know, people don't give credit enough to really good friendships. You know what I mean? Like that is like a soul tie that you have, like your soulmate, like that you have in your friendships. Like you can absolutely, like I've grieved for friends and it was like painful. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was like sad, like for a long time, and still, you know, it's just like you can have some deep relationships with your friends, and I don't know why people discredit that, and maybe because it's a man and a woman. And maybe that's what, you know, but I think some people in your life that
they're not replaceable.
It's simple as that.
That's just what it is. He's not replaceable.
But Will was honest, though. I appreciate his honesty and being like, I was insecure about it.
Very insecure about it. And that's cool. Like he said, it was a lot of ego talking. She was with the Fresh Prince, but she over here thinking about Tupac or whatever situation may be. And ego. But let's get back into it.
Fill a void for her, and he just couldn't meet the standard. And that's another reason why she probably was unhappy in the marriage as well. And I think Will was unhappy too. He was unhappy that she was unhappy. But they stayed together for the sake of their brand and
being
their
with
image.
somebody that you feel
However, their marriage.
Being with somebody that feel like you will never meet a standard that they have in their mind is tough. That's hard. That's hard to navigate through, which is probably why he tried to provide so many
things.
Yeah.
Because he may have been having this imaginary comparison. Like, I want to
Or it was a real comparison.
Or it could have been a real comparison. Or it could have been an imaginary one. I really do think it was an imaginary one. I don't really...
I don't.
You think it was real?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think of it that way, right? I think that the only person... Well, I ain't gonna say that. That's not true. That's not true. Let's get back into it.
Started to crumble when Jada had an entanglement with August Alsina. Once August came out and said he had an affair with Jada and Will gave him his blessing to date her, that's when everything started tumbling down. And Will and Jada tried to do damage control, but they failed miserably.
I think you need to say clearly what happened.
As far as what?
You and I decided we were going to take our space, and what happened?
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. We ride together.
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
Yeah, that was awkward. That was very, very awkward. But they truly meant it. I mean, they're still together even though they're not happy. They know their marriage is toxic. They know they're not in love. They live separately, but they're still going to be together for whatever reason. And I really think Will was willing to continue to put up a united front with Jada. I mean, it kind of showed in his actions. Even when Chris Rock made a joke about Jada's bald head at the Oscars, Will got up on that stage and slapped the piss out of Chris Rock. And that was his way of letting the world know and his peers know that they can't fix their mouth to talk about Jada. And that was his way of protecting her. Even with all they've been through, he still was trying to protect her in that moment. And his career...
My man really did slap this dude.
But
My man really slapped this dude.
My man really got on stage and slapped the hell out of Chris Rock.
Yo, he slapped
the piss out of this man.
Yo, he slapped the shit out of this dude.
He really did. Just...
And button his suit back up
and go sit down
and say keep. Hey man.
And everyone's like, oh, it tainted his image. It tainted his career. No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Because he's still the Fresh Prince.
He's still Will Smith.
Still Will Smith. People still want him to play their daddy.
Will Smith is a phenomenal actor.
Phenomenal.
Like,
one of the greatest of all time.
One of the greats.
To me, he's better than Denzel Washington.
Whoa, watch your mouth now.
That's for another video.
Watch your mouth now.
For another video.
Nobody topping Denzel.
I don't know about that, man.
Nobody.
Did Denzel hold it down for 4 summers in a row?
When has Will Smith played somebody that has been a bad guy? Never.
It don't matter.
He don't have that ring. He don't got it in him.
Did Denzel hold it down for 4 summers in a row?
He ain't got it in him.
Did he do it?
He don't got to. When you go, you don't got to.
Did he do that?
That's for another video. Play. Y'all know who. Team Denzel. Y'all already know.
Nah.
Unfortunately, Jada hasn't been able to protect Will in the same way because she still keeps running her mouth. And the more she reveals, the worse she makes their marriage look. And at this point, their marriage can't look any worse. But Jada is just not making it easier. I mean, she recently revealed that Chris Rock asked her out on a date when he thought that she and Will were getting a divorce. This is what she told to People. I think every summer all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. And this particular summer, Chris, he thought we were getting a divorce. So he called me and basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? I was like, no. Chris, those are just rumors. He was appalled and he profusely apologized, and that was that. Now, I honestly think Jada could have kept this story to herself. It's just too much information to reveal. You know what I mean? She could have kept that. It opens up that whole Oscar drama yet again, and Will has been desperately trying to get past it. He really has. And if it's true that Chris Rock was trying to get with Jada, it actually makes even more sense why Will slapped him. But either way, I don't think Jada should have revealed this because we just don't need to know it. And now I hear Jada is revealing this tell-all book. I don't like it because I feel like it's just going to bring even more negative attention on her and Will's marriage. I just feel like everything that's happening now is really a precursor to a divorce. I think eventually they will get a divorce because right now there's nothing left. The love is gone. They're not living together. Their brand has really crumbled in the public eye. I mean, I think they will eventually divorce, but it's really going to depend on who fouls first. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video.
I don't think they're going to get a divorce.
And I'll see you next time.
I really don't think they're going to get a divorce. I think she wrote a tell-all book. If it's the tell-all, then isn't that what she's supposed to do? Tell it all? But I really feel like this is a part of, this is what healing looks like sometimes, right? It's a part of her journey. It's a part of her honesty. It's a part of who she has put out into the world. And it's not up to me to be like, oh, you should probably keep that to yourself or not. Because I'm pretty sure whatever happened or whatever, she ran all this stuff past Will Smith, or he was there.
I'm sure.
So it's not like he didn't know about it. I'm pretty sure he was the first person to know about all this stuff, right?
I'm sure.
And I hope that he continues to support her. She continues to support him. And I'm not going to say that they don't love each other, because to me, this is like a very different form of love than what you're used to seeing on Instagram. Like, this is that deep love. Like, this is that I'm with you love. This is that that when it gets rough, when it gets hard, can you stand the rain?
We not just taking cute pictures.
We not just taking cute pictures. We doing the work. And this is, sometimes it looks messy, sometimes it looks like this and whatever. But
I wish them both the best.
I wish them the best.
I'm not team Will or team Jada.
No.
I'm just team.
I'm team the love that they have,
Yeah.
and the respect that they seem to have for each other, regardless of what the public may think.
I just be like, people need to keep it fair though.
Yeah. Will Smith
somebody was
definitely got
like,
problems.
yeah. I'm like, oh, be real with it. I don't like that fake. Like, don't be fake about it. Like, don't get on here and act like my man's is innocent.
Definitely got problems.
He just got that hush money. You know what I'm saying? He got that hush money. She couldn't pay August from the hood. You know what I'm saying?
It's not even about, I don't even think it's about that. Like I said, this is what it looks like when you are living and walking in your truth and you're owning the person that you are. A lot of people cannot do that.
No, they can't.
They cannot. So when shit hit the fan,
they base it on happiness.
Yeah, and Instagram photos.
Yeah.
And cute videos.
Not the case. It's hard.
It's hard. It's very hard. So I feel like when shit hit the fan, Jada is gonna be sitting there, and everything that comes out, we're gonna already know. Because it came straight from her mouth. So she's controlling her narrative. She's controlling her story.
Exactly. You know,
I love it. I love that for her.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I love that for her.
Control the narrative.
Because it's gonna come out eventually.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for
it's gonna happen.
Y'all know.
For Will's part. Yeah. But we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Until next time, guys.